This is 4.3, solving multi-step equations. So to solve multi-step equations, we're going to do order of operations backwards. That means that we are going to work from the outside in toward the variable. So we are going to solve a few problems. If I have 5x plus 9 equals 24, I need to work from the outside in towards this variable. Order of operations ends with addition and subtraction. So this is adding and subtracting, but it does not have a variable. So to get my variable term by itself, I'm going to move the 9 first. And in moving the 9, I would get negative 5x equals 15. Then this is a one-step problem. So to get x by itself, I need to divide each side by negative 5, which gives x is negative 3. Here I have 1/6 x minus 1/2, x over 6 minus 1/2 equals negative 5 over 2. So my 1/2 does not have a variable, so working from the outside in towards the variable, I'm going to add 1/2 to each side to get my variable term by itself, and then I'm going to have x over 6 equals negative 4 over 2. Negative 4 over 2 is equal to negative 2, so we can reduce that and have easier numbers to work with. And then the opposite of dividing by 6 is multiplying by 6. So we're going to multiply each side of the equation by 6 to get x equals negative 12. If I have 13y plus 20 equals minus 8y equals 50, these have like terms in the y term, so I am going to add those together, and 13 minus 8y is 5y. And then 5y plus 20 equals 50. I would subtract 20 on each side to get my variable term by itself, and then to get y completely by itself, we divide by 5 on each to get y equals 6. Here, I need to distribute as my first step. And we always need to simplify before we can start solving things. So this gives 10 plus 6x minus 18 equals 55. And then I'm going to combine like terms. 10 minus 18 is negative 8. And then the opposite of negative 8 is positive 8, so add 8 to each side to get 6x equals 63. And then our last step is to divide by 6 to get x equals 21 over 2. And then we can leave this as an improper fraction. Don't create more work for yourself than what you need to do. We have a few more problems to do. Here I have m over 2 plus 6 equals 10. So to get m by itself, we need to subtract 6 on each. Then the opposite of dividing by 2 is multiplying by 2. So m equals 8. If z minus 3 plus 5 equals 9, then I need to subtract 5 on each side, and then negative z over 3, opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. So 4 times 3 is 12, but we can't have a negative variable. We have to have positive variables. So this has an invisible coefficient of 1. We see the negative, but we don't see the 1. So I'm going to divide each side by negative 1, which moves the negative from the left to the right, so that z equals negative 12. Over here, my first step is to get 4a by itself, because that has my variable. So subtract 2/5 on each side. Negative 6 going further negative 2 is negative 8. So then 4a equals negative 8/5. And then the opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. So then I can set this up as dividing. Dividing by 4 is the same as multiplying by 1/4. So then I get negative 8 over 20, which reduces to negative 2/5. Here I have z minus 1 equals 6. So the opposite of subtract 1 is add 1. And then d over 5 equals negative 5. Multiply each side by 5 to get negative d equals negative 25. Again, divide by negative 1 to get d equals negative 25. You could multiply by negative 5 here, and then that would jump to our answer down here and get rid of this dividing by negative 1. We have a couple more. So 12 minus 3 times x minus 9 equals 138. Again, our first step is to distribute, and then we're going to combine like terms to get 39. Move the 39 to the other side to leave negative 9x by itself, and then divide by negative 9 to get x equals negative 11. I'm going to distribute the 1/2. Multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing by 2. So this is 5 plus 6x minus 5 equals 48. 5 minus 5 is 0, leaving just 6x. And then divide each side by 6 to get x equals 8. You install 300 feet of fencing along the perimeter of a rectangular yard. The width of the yard is 70 feet. What is the length of the yard? So, first thing we need to do is draw a picture and label all the parts that we know. So the width of the yard is 70. We know the perimeter is 300. So perimeter of a rectangle is 2 lengths plus 2 widths. Plug in all the information we know. We know perimeter. We do not know length. That's what it's asking us to solve for. And I do know width. So 2 times 70 is 140. And then to get L by itself, we need to move the 140. So then 160 equals 2L. Divide by 2 to get L by itself, which is 80 feet.